Very good morning, children. Welcome back to my class. We are going to continue the topic pronouns in grammar, which we started last week. Do you remember the first three subtopics that we have covered last week? Yes, they are personal pronoun, demonstrative pronoun, and interrogative pronoun. I hope you all like doing that small assignment which I had given after that explanation. Today we'll be concentrating on the next two types of pronouns, which are reflexive pronoun and emphatic pronoun. So it's very easy to learn reflexive and emphatic pronoun. Do you know why is it so? Because the pronouns that are used under reflexive as well as emphatic pronoun are all same. There are only 8 pronouns which will be used under these two subcategories in pronoun. All you need to do is be attentive, conscious, and listen carefully when I explain these to you so that you know the difference between an emphatic pronoun and a reflexive pronoun. Let's go on to learn what are these pronouns. Okay, so in today's class, we are going to learn some rules for emphatic and reflexive pronouns. But before we go on with that, let us see what are these pronouns. As I told you, we have only 8 pronouns which come under emphatic and reflexive pronoun. These are myself, herself, himself, itself, yourself. These 5 pronouns are used for for singular pronouns, first person, second person, as well as third person. Whereas ourselves, yourselves, and themselves are used for plural form of pronouns. For ourselves for first person, yourselves for second person, and themselves for third person. All these three for the plural pronouns. Now, before we go to understand what are these reflexive and emphatic pronouns, here I have made a small column to show you what are the types of pronouns that we are learning and how are these pronouns labeled in a sentence. For example, we know that in a sentence we need a subject. The subject is that person who is doing something. And then we need an object who is receiving something. And then here I have mentioned a column called adjective. How do we have adjectives in pronouns? Yes, I'll explain it to you. We have these pronouns which are called adjective pronouns, and then we have possessive pronoun and the reflexive and emphatic pronoun, which I have mentioned in the last column. Remember, children, in your first class, I had told that myself, yourself, etc., all these self and selves words as personal pronoun. Yes, they are also called personal pronoun, but they are actually compound personal pronouns. All right. So, if you take a look at the noun column, all the nouns here I have mentioned are pronouns or a proper noun or a general usage of a noun. In case if you take the noun I is not a noun actually, it's a pronoun. So when you take I in the subject's place in a sentence, it is always I. I can only do something. I can do something for me. So, me cannot come in subject's place. Only I can come in subject's place. I can do something. Me cannot do. Similarly, you can do something. What is this special thing about second person singular pronoun? You is the subject as well as you is the only pronoun for object also. Okay. In case of Rahul, we know that Rahul is the name of a boy. So the subject, the pronoun that we use as subject in a sentence for Rahul is he. He can do something. Rahul can do something. Rahul does something. So it is always he for a male and she for a female and it for a thing or an animal in subject's place. So what happens to it, this he, she and it, when it goes to the object place, he becomes him. He does something, something was received by him. So you know that when we use he and when we use him, only the difference is he, she and it comes under subject place and her, him and it comes under the object place. And then we have first person plural, that is I and another person with me. So it becomes two people in the first person place. That is a plural first person pronoun. That is we. When we are talking about second person plural pronoun, it still remains same as you. So you is the same word for singular second person as well as plural second person. And similarly, in objects place also, you remains you itself. Okay, let us look at the third person plural pronoun. When we are talking about someone else, that is singular, we use it as, we call them as he, she, or it. When we are talking about many people or many things, which is third person for us, it becomes plural. So we call them or the things as, we call the people as they. And then they, when it comes to objects position, when they are when they are at the receiving end, the pronoun used is them. Okay, and I told you that we will be using um, pers- personal adjectives. Sorry, adjective of pronoun. I told you that we'll be learning about adjective pronouns. Though my, your, his, her, its, our, their, and your, all these are personal pronouns, but these are all labeled under adjective pronouns. This can be explained to you at a later stage in your English learning, but I thought I will introduce this to you because you are learning pronouns. And then we'll move on to possessive pronoun, which I'll explain in detail in your next class. Possessive pronoun talks about the belonging of something. For example, if you talk about the notebook in which you are writing, if I am talking about my notebook, I will say, I am writing in my notebook. I is the doer, so I is the subject. Am is the be verb. Am is the be verb. It tells about the tense in a sentence. I am writing. Writing is the action word. Where am I writing? In my book. So book is the receiver of this action writing. So I am writing in my book. Okay. So now I want to say the possession of this book. I want to say that it is my book. How will I say it? Instead of using my book, I can say this book is mine. That book is yours. It is his book. This book is hers. The bowl belongs to my dog. The bowl is its. The house is ours. The car is theirs. So yours stays the same in case of second person singular as well as plural pronouns. Let's come on to this reflexive and emphatic pronouns. I am just going to read out the list of reflexive and emphatic pronouns here. So I, me, my, mine, and the reflexive is going to end in self. All the singular pronouns will end with self, and all the reflexive pronouns for plural pronouns will end in selves. So just take a look at this column: myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself. All these are singular pronouns. Ourselves, themselves, yourselves talks about the plural form of pronoun. Okay. Let's understand what are reflexive pronouns. When have you learned this word called reflexive? Reflexive means, can you relate it with reflection? When do you see a reflection? When you look at the mirror in a glass. So when you are able to see the mirror image, we call it as a reflection. Isn't it easy to remember, children? Reflexive pronouns are like mirror images. Okay. In a sentence, when the doer as well as the receiver are the same person. For example, the subject and the end secondary object or the primary object in a sentence are the same. Then we call this secondary object as reflexive pronoun. And you should remember that reflexive pronoun can only be used in object's place. It cannot be used in subject's place. If you look at these examples, the dog saw itself in the mirror. Can you understand that the dog is the subject? Saw is the verb. What did the dog see? Itself, its own image. Instead of its own image, we can write it as itself. The dog saw itself in the mirror. You blame yourself. So what is happening here in these sentences? The subject the verb and it is immediately followed by the reflexive pronoun, which is itself, yourself, and similar pronouns. You blame yourself for your mistakes. The baby hurt itself. He cut himself while chopping onions. So, I'll give you a tip here. A reflective pronoun cannot be removed from the sentence. Try to remove this reflexive pronoun from the sentence and read these sentences. Does it give a complete meaning? Does it make any sense? So, in case of reflexive pronoun, it is compulsory that the reflexive pronoun has to be utilized properly in the correct place in a sentence. Let's move on to emphatic pronoun. Here, emphatic means giving emphasis, giving stress in something. Because we are talking about grammar, where do we give stress here? Emphasis is going to be on the subject. So what happens to this emphatic pronoun? In most of the cases, it is used immediately after the subject. He himself knows me very well. So himself, here himself is followed after the subject. He is the subject. He knows me. So himself means no one has to introduce me to him because he already knows me, or probably he is a very he is a very prominent personality in the society, and we can say that he himself knows me very well. So what happens in case of emphatic pronouns? You have an advantage. You can remove this emphatic pronoun from the sentence and still your sentence will give you a complete meaning. If you try to read this sentence, he himself knows me very well, without the word himself, you can still make a complete sense out of this sentence. Try to read it now. He knows me very well. Do we get a complete meaning? Yes. We do have the subject, we do have the verb in this sentence. The verb is knows. And then who does he know? Me. Me is the object. So, in case of emphatic pronoun, even if you remove the emphatic pronoun from the sentence, you will have a complete meaning out of that sentence. And it is very easy to distinguish between emphatic pronoun and a reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronoun cannot be removed from the sentence, whereas emphatic pronoun can be removed from the sentence. Still, the sentence can give a complete meaning. Look at the second point in the top. Sometimes they are written at a distance from the subject. For example, I myself will take you there. For example, I am the chief minister, okay, and you have come to meet me and you want to visit a particular person. So I'll tell you, I myself will take you there. Means I'm not going to send you with someone. Instead of that, I am only going to take you there. So I myself, I is being stressed upon by the word myself. Instead of a peon or some other person, I myself will take you there. Or, like I told you, in some cases, the emphatic pronoun can be written away from the subject. Let us look at the same example in a different way. I will take you there myself. So, in these two sentences also, if you remove the word myself, you will still have the complete meaning out of the sentence. One more example, let us take it in the plural sense. We ourselves may complete it. Means we may complete it. We don't need the help of anyone else. The emphasis is that we are only enough for doing our work. Okay, children? Here we have the assignment which I have posted below this video. Go through the assignment, think and answer. There are two small exercises, each containing 5 sentences. Answer them and keep it ready. Tomorrow I am going to meet you with another topic in pronoun, another subtopic of pronoun. Till then, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.